Hey everyone, it is Corinna Arnold. How have you all been? I have been away for a while, and since August, I think I haven't done a video. As many of you know, a lot of my clients, I had a family member who was really struggling with their health and was in and out of the hospital, and it took a while for us to figure out what was happening with them. And is still kind of back and forth with health issues, but certainly more on the mend that he was. And for all of you who have been patient with me having to postpone your client sessions and your mini video readings, I just wanted to first of all thank you for all your patience. And some of you are still waiting for some more mini readings, which I'm almost done, and hopefully I'll get those wrapped up this week. So I think I'm all caught up. It's interesting, when you have a really busy schedule as I do, when you have to make a sudden change like that and help a family member who is unwell, everything in your life shifts, all your priorities shift, and everything has to, a lot of things, not everything, a lot of things have to be put on hold. And so this is one of the things that had to be put on hold. And I'm sure there's probably multiple reasons why that was the case. For myself personally, for maybe my clients and the people that watch me, there was a reason why there had to be a lull. And like anything in my life, I trust exactly how it rolls out. So, first of all, thank you. Thank you for your trust in me. Thank you for your support and being patient while I'm slowly getting back to normally, I want to say normally scheduled programs, is what I just heard. Speaking of normally scheduled programs, I'm guided to sit and chat with you today. So that's interesting because I had no plans on doing that. I've got clients later this afternoon. My house is a little bit of chaos. So if the dogs start barking, doorbells start ringing, so be it. I trust it's exactly where it should be. We actually got a new puppy this week, the Friday. So puppies bring lots of beautiful new energy, but my house feels like it's the schedule of my house is completely turned upside down, which babies do. But it's interesting because she came to us a week early, and again, I trust that timing, and it was all of a sudden she was here because she was being shipped to us, and of course with everything that's going on with the C, let's call it the C word. Um, there was flights that were being delayed, and there was worries that we weren't going to be able to get here because we've used the same breeder for 4 of our dogs now. We have standard poodles, by the way, and we lost our Scarlet a year ago and put ourselves on a wait list about a month or two after that, and here she is. So, and it's interesting to have new energy in the home, and they bring such, any type of baby, right, brings such purity and light, and she is so curious about everything, and is interesting because when you watch babies, you forget that how beautiful this world is. I have a goddaughter who just had twins actually recently, and it's beautiful to go over and see and sit with them because they have such joy in little things, which I think sometimes we forget as adults. And everything is brand new, which again, we forget as adults. We take things for granted. And just watching this little baby puppy when I have her in my arms and I'm opening up the fridge to get something, and she's just in wonder about the fridge. What is this thing called a fridge? What's in here? What are you doing? um, so it's been a joy to have that energy in our home. Chaotic, yes. Sleepless nights, absolutely. I'm up every 2 hours with her. But what a blessing. What a blessing to have her come into our lives and to have this new baby energy in our family has been fantastic. I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but anyways, I am here. And like I said, it might be chaotic. That's where I was coming from. It might be chaotic as the other dogs are getting used to her and new routines. And anyways, it's a bit chaos. Um, I was in a meditation yesterday, and as part of this meditation, 3 words were given to me. And it was interesting because the words were, and I wrote them down here: hope, compassion, and love. And I was really just asking what it is that the world most needed, what it is that I was here to assist with. And it's interesting when those words came, because that has always been my intention, I think, since I was very young, is to every situation, can I be a foundation for hope and compassion and love? And I think the work that I've been doing in the last couple of years with the guides and the angels that have been working with me, certainly that has been their focus through me as well as a channel, is bringing messages of hope, messages of compassion, and certainly the energy of love. And I hope you feel that when you're watching my videos. I hope you feel the energy of love and the divine flowing through me as a channel. That is my intention, is to allow the energy of love, of divinity, to flow through me to you so you can feel it. So the words embrace it. So the energy exchange that we're having, you can saturate in it. So it's for me to get out of the way and to be a clear conduit for that through all the work that I do with my clients and also through these videos. It was interesting that they brought those words to me because, and this is a funny story. Last 2 nights ago, actually the night the baby came, we'll call her the baby, our new baby, my husband and I were looking for something to watch as we were sitting there cuddling her. And people have been talking about the show on Netflix called Cobra Kai, and I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's a spin-off from Karate Kid, when they're older, etc. And really, we're like, that's going to be corny, we're not going there. But it was interesting because we just couldn't find anything to watch, and we're like, oh, let's just see what it's about. Actually, you know what, I've been pleasantly surprised, and I'll tie this all in, but first of all, a girl from the 80s. It's wonderful because it has amazing 80s music, lots of 80s references, and it's got a really brilliant sense of humor. And I don't know who the writers are, directors, producers. I'll probably have to look into that more, but a great sense of humor through this whole experience you go on with it. But the one thing that was profound to me as I was watching, and we've been binging it, by the way, because it's just fun, as we were watching season 2 last night, was I love the way that they are demonstrating the complexity of humanity through this little show that's, a spin-off of Karate Kid, which seems really corny, and which 80s stuff was, it was kind of cornball in some ways, but still lovely, and trying to have some messages in some of these movies. But it's showing the compassion, the expression of compassion and the complexity of humanity. It's interesting because if you guys watched the Karate Kid, the first movie, that was kind of clearly evil and good, the bad guys, the good guys. And what's interesting is what they've tried to create here is showing everyone's history and backstory, and that everyone within them has the light and the dark, and everyone has wounding, and everyone's made choices around that wounding, and what those choices lead to in your life, and how you continue to co-create based on the choices. That old proverb about which wolf do you feed, the light or the dark. So, and that's the complexity of the characters that's fascinating, and that they're being very successful here, is that they're showing how complex the human mind is, the human experience is, and that there is no such thing as all bad and all good, all evil, all light, all dark, all light, whatever you want to call it. that we all have this within us in certain varying degrees. And it was interesting because it brought me back to those three words, that the three things that fundamentally move us beyond um, that divisive energy of dark and light. You are this, I am this. This program we have about boxing ourselves in. The only thing that moves us away from that is three things, and that's compassion, love, and hope. And it was interesting in this meditation that I have, as they kept showing me keys to doorways, and those are the three um, words that they gave me. And when I was in meditation this morning, my spirit team that works with me said to me, these are the three keys to freedom. Freedom for humanity, freedom for yourself, is hope, compassion, and love. And about a couple of years ago, Tyler and I created a course called Healing Through the Art of Love and Compassion. And I'm going to teach that in the new year online. We usually do it in workshops, but it needs to go online. The messages of hope and compassion and the ability for it to heal yourself and heal humanity is so important right now in a world that looks to be, in many ways, very divisive, pulling away, polarities on both sides, pointing of fingers, you're wrong, I'm right. Where do we come to a place where we can see the other's grace, the other's wounding, and have compassion for it? Where do we come to a place where we know that those that come in to show us perhaps the darkness of humanity are here to teach us our greatest lessons? And that there's a divine covenant and agreement that we've made together through this journey. And, I'll give you an example of it, and I talk about it in my course. And it's a very personal one, but it's an example that will probably ring true for many of you. My father, bless his heart, struggled with alcoholism his whole life, and for a variety of reasons. And again, in the course that I work on, we work with those people that have wounded us the most. And we work on understanding them, and again, understanding their backstory of how they got there. That aside, he had a very long backstory of his own pain and his own abuse that led him to making a choice around how he wanted to deal with that pain. And that was through alcohol and eventually drugs, and which created an environment of pain for his family, abuse for his family on all different levels. And of course, I had years and years of attempting to heal that relationship, those core wounds that I had that he brought forward for me to reflect on, to learn from. And it's interesting because when I talk to people about it, I had a profound moment when I was in my 20s, and I was reading a book by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and one day I've got to pull out the book again and remember the title. And he was talking about his own relationship with his father and how that impacted him, and that he realized that his father was his greatest gift and his greatest teacher. And when I read those words, it struck me on a level that I have a hard time even explaining to today. It was like a lightning bolt went through me, and I fell to my knees and I just cried for hours because I knew at my soul's essence that message was true. And what it did in one sentence is release me from the stronghold I had of my belief system that I was a victim in that situation. And what it did is it opened up a door for me, a doorway, that potentially my father was my greatest gift as well, and brought me through a world of healing that I would have never experienced. So bless Dr. Dyer for all of his work and all the hearts he has touched, because he's touched many. But it was a profound turning moment for me. And what had happened is the awakening within myself that this beautiful soul lived the most excruciating life for me to learn my biggest soul's lessons of love, compassion, and hope. Because every day in that situation that I was in, I never gave up on hope, number one. Number one. There was something within me that knew that hope was my way out, was my way to know that no matter how horrendous it was in the moment, there was always something on the other side. And I can remember as a young child sitting at a window, singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I don't know if you guys know that song. And again, another beautiful movie, and it was a huge lesson for me. And knowing that there was a way out, it was a song of hope for me. And so hope always was a foundational string in my evolution and my freedom from that experience. And again, something that I continue to bring messages forward for everyone, that there is always hope, that there is always somewhere over the rainbow, where the bluebirds fly. And that has been true for me. If you knew from where I came from to the grace and beauty of my life now, I have people in my life that says, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you did it. And I'll tell you what those 3 keys were: hope, compassion / forgiveness, and love. And I think the reason why they're having me talk about this is that as a humanity, if we wish to unify and we wish to move away from this divisive energy, we cannot do it without those 3 things. And we certainly can't do it without compassion. We certainly cannot do it without compassion and the ability to see another's perspective. I don't want to get into politics here, because politics, of course, is one of those things right now that is simply here to express to us the potentiality for moving beyond divisive energy. All it is reflecting back to us belief systems that are held in the collective that now need to be cleared. Belief systems of divisive energy, of division energy that has been so exaggerated that we have no other choice but to look it dead in the face and to see what it is here to teach us. And the only thing it's here to teach us is the potential to move towards unity, the potential to see yourself in another. It's very easy to get into the mentality of you and me and you, them and us. That's the easy way. It's the easy out. It's the easy out. It doesn't bring you to the depths of your potential as a soul for your evolution. Even within my own family, we have varying degrees of political views. But what are we to do? I'm just supposed to walk away from someone who doesn't have the same political views as me that I love? Or is the potential to have compassion for where they're coming from? Is the potential for me to open my energy up to see that some of what they believe may just be true? May just be true. And that there might be another perspective that I'm not seeing. And there might be the opportunity to have compassion for someone's pain, for the reason why they may believe what they believe. Who am I to tell them who to believe? Who am I to judge them? They just said to me, it's not going to get us anywhere. We need to move beyond it. This is our one opportunity out of many, they just said to me, but right now this is our opportunity to move into a state of compassion. That doesn't mean acceptance. That doesn't mean allowing. If there's fundamental things that are harming people, there's fundamental things or people that are harming you. Compassion does not equate allowing. Compassion doesn't equate non-movement. Compassion is the ability to see through another person's eyes, their wounding, their story, the reason why they believe what they do, and to love and accept them anyways for how they come right now, and to see their potential. Not from your perspective, by the way, not you changing them potential, by the way, that's not loving. But the potential of their soul's growth in that, in whatever exchange they're happening in the moment, whatever their belief systems are bringing up for them, whatever they're having to go through in the internal struggles or the anger they have over certain political views, etc. That is their potential. That is their potential for growth. And who am I, who are you to take that away from them? Again, we can't get into someone's potential based on your potential to be like me. Everyone is required, beloveds. Everyone is required. All beliefs are required. All beliefs are required. Everyone is required. For each of us to learn our greatest life's lessons. When you are triggered, what are they teaching you? When you read some kind of headline and your blood pressure goes through the roof, take a beat, take a moment is what they're just saying. Take a beat, take a moment. What is this teaching me about me? What is this teaching me about my limiting beliefs? What is this teaching me about my lack of love for myself and my fellow man? What is this teaching me? So 3 keys to freedom is what they said to me again. Hope, compassion, and love. And it looks like that's part of the reason why I've come back. Part of why they said they've opened the door for me to come back in a different way, and perhaps why there had to be a break. So I know I just went off on a bit of a tangent there with their guidance. But they just said to me, we have to think about these things now. We have to think about the why they're showing up. Rather than being angry, allow the gratitude to come in for what it is here to teach us. They just said to me, anger in some moments is no longer serving us. Our immediate requirement, our immediate reaction to anger, though true, they said, it's not that the emotion's not true for you, but it's not serving you. It's not serving you. They said, correction, the only way it's serving you is noticing the trigger, noticing what it is you're angry about. But there's more of a deep dive they're asking us to do right now. There's more of a deeper dive. They want us to go deeper. Why? They just said to me, ask the why, ask the why, ask the why. Even if it's, why would someone believe that? Why would someone think that? Where's your compassion? They keep showing me Jesus for some reason, and I'm not sure why, but they keep showing me Christ's energy here, for us all through, not judging our brothers and sisters. That is the biggest lesson that we're here to learn right now, that judgment does not serve us as a humanity. And even though what they're calling, what we view the lowest of the lowest vibration decisions, choices, people, where's your compassion? They just said to me, how did they get there? How did they get there? How did they get there? Send them love, is what they just said to me. Send them love. And thank them for being a teacher for you. Thank them for being a teacher for you. When you move away from judgment and you go to grace and gratitude for the lesson, and for them, for their courageousness to live that life, whatever that is, to be a demonstration of hatred, perhaps, to be a demonstration of, and they said our hatred. When someone is demonstrating hatred, they're giving us a window and an opportunity to see that within ourselves on some level. Does that make sense? They come here as messengers of love and light in many ways, which is very hard to see when all we've got our blinders on, they said, and all we see is darkness. All we see is bad. And he said, it's anything but. It's anything but. In fact, it's probably the exact opposite. That those souls that have chosen in many ways to come to demonstrate those issues in the world, those opportunities for growth in the world, the opportunity for us to see our own darkness, our own inability to love, our own fears. They're some of our greatest messengers. And it's not about loving what they do. They want to make that clear. It's not about loving the action or even loving their choices. It's loving the soul who has come in as a multidimensional being to express to you your deepest fears and your deepest opportunities for growth. To understand unity in a whole different way. To understand that we are all one. And that's what they've come here to teach us. That they're our greatest teachers. And can you come with grace and gratitude for them rather than hatred and judgment? They said, we know for some that's a big stretch, but it doesn't serve humanity. It doesn't serve humanity when we come in judgment of another. Notice their courageousness. Flip the script is what they just said. Flip the script. Have the courage within yourself to flip the script. Have the courage in yourself to look through their eyes from their perspective and to know that perhaps you might even be wrong. You might even be wrong. All right. I'm going to pick some cards because they said let's get busy with cards. So I'm going to pick some from Archangel Metatron deck by Amanda Ellis. And thank you, Amanda, for on Instagram. She gave me a lovely shout out, and I think I've got a few more followers because of that. I just want to say, I've been really blessed with the love and support of people in the spiritual community. And I've certainly had the opposite sometimes experience in the spiritual community as well. I've had lots of beautiful lessons through that as well. But there are some people that really walk the walk, and beautiful Amanda Ellis is one of them. Another beautiful spiritual teacher that I work with, Allison Winrider. Shout out to Allison Winrider. We're currently teaching an angel course right now. Again, another person who really works at walking the walk. So much appreciation to Allison as well. Matt Kahn, I don't know why I feel like doing my own shout outs. I don't usually do them, but Matt Kahn, beautiful people like Phil Good, who are really giving us different perspectives to look at, who are really channeling another way. They're challenging us really to, and hopefully my work does the same, to look at the experience we're going through through a different set of lenses, through the lenses of multidimensionality, through the lenses of divinity, through the lenses of compassion and love, and let those lenses bring you clarity into what potentially is unfolding here, which is much more complex than this black and white energy you're seeing. With this right or wrong, dark and light, bad and good, it's much more complex than this. And they just said to me, when chaos ensues, change ensues, everything that's going on, we get into our safety zones, our habits of old programming, where we go back into our comfort zones of it's comfortable to know who your enemy is. Let's say that. It's comfortable to know who your friends are. When you're in the midst of chaos, it's comfortable to know that. We go back to old stereotypes, old programming, old belief systems, and old limitations, old boxing in. I'm comfortable, I'm safe. If I know you're the enemy, I'm safer here on this side of the fence. I'm safer with this group of people. When there's chaos, which is what's happening, is chaos and uncertainty in the future. But they said it's an illusion. That's an illusion. Because safety comes when we actually hold each other's hands across the fence, is what they just said. The greatest safety is in those in the numbers, they said, and by numbers they're meaning not that this side of the fence has more people and that side of the fence has less people. By numbers they mean when we all unify together, when we're all able to see each other's grace, each other's wonder, each other's courageousness, each other's light. That's what they just said. Because even those that are portraying the darkness have light within them, and vice versa, and vice versa. And they just said to me, and by the way, even these spiritual teachers that Corinna is talking about, they too, you'll see their darkness come out. And so, you know, when you might not be connecting with them on a certain level, or there's something that's triggering you that you're seeing. And so what do we go into? Do we go into cancel culture all of a sudden, which is another thing that they want to talk about at some point through me? Do we just go into cancel culture and canceling you? You said a word that triggered me. I'm moving beyond this. You're not the right teacher for me. Or can you potentially see that they're having a moment because they're human? And they have the courageousness to be on the platform, and that even them, sometimes the darkness rolls through, or they use a word that's triggering to others, or you're not getting maybe the lightest version of them that day, even though I know everyone comes, including myself, with the highest of intention. But there are times, sometimes, where we're lower, where we have our own life experience, we have our own wounds that are still processing. And so if there's one thing that doesn't agree with this, we're done, we're moving on. Is that what we do? Or do we love this person and send them love and say, wow, I see myself in you. You're having a rough go today. I can see you're not quite yourself today. I can see your beautiful shadow work that you're working with. Bless you, beloved. I'm here for you. Do you feel the difference in that energy? How do we move beyond cancel culture, back into unity, back into compassion, back into love? Okay. I just heard I'm going to pull 2 cards. My intention was not to go too long with this, so I'm just going to pull a couple cards just for some guidance here. until my next video. So there's one card that popped out. And I don't know when that's going to be, by the way. I'm hoping to do more videos, but I trust I'm here when I'm guided to be here. I'm going to pick this one because it popped out. Okay. So let me just talk about these two cards. So, of course, Archangel Metatron is definitely here through this message. Is Rainbow Bridge is always open. You know, I'm hearing with this card is I'm hearing One Love. I'm hearing the song by Bob Marley, One Love. And that we're all unified. I just heard at the end of our lives, we all cross over the same bridge. We all go back to the same place. We all go back to the one. Different levels of that, perhaps, different vibrational frequencies, but it's all the one. We all cross over this bridge to enter into our lives. We all go back on the same bridge. There is no difference between any of us. And they just said that we've all come with a divine purpose. And for some beings, that divine purpose is to express perhaps the darkness that's still here for us to see. And for others, it's to express the light in the best possible way. And for most, it's to do both in different varying degrees throughout our lives. But we all come from this place. We are all connected by that same divine spark. We all have it in us. We all have it in us. Okay, beloveds, this is the leadership card, answer the call. Again, they were talking about we all have the light within us. Let the light shine. Let the light lead you. Let love and compassion and hope be opening the doorway. The light is in all of us. And they just said, can we take a moment to see that? Can we take a moment to see it? Let the light in another person allow you to have compassion and love for them today. See their struggle, see their wounding, see their pain. Again, not saying what they're doing is right, not saying that at all. But can you see their light? And can you be comfortable with their darkness? And know that they just said, though it lies in the peripheral of your energy, it is not your energy. It's just witnessing the darkness to, they said, show you the doorway to light. That the darkness is required so you see the doorway more quickly, more clearly. And they just said, which might be triggering for some, bless those that come to show us the dark. For in some ways, they are the way showers for the light. Because they're clearly demonstrating, I guess, I'm trying to get the words of what they're saying, the opposite of perhaps the life you wish to lead. And without that reference point, would you know that so clearly, is what they just said to me. Bless them for the clarity they're giving you. Bless them for helping you see the way more clearly. They just said to me, the light shines brighter in the dark. That's interesting. I'm going to ask for an angel card here. Just asking for any further guidance over the next few weeks for you all. What is it that you most need to hear from the angelic realm, please? From the angelic realm, there's a card that popped out. There we go. Raise your vibration. Raise your vibration. This is what we're called to do. We're called to be leaders right now, seeing the light, demonstrating the light, being way showers for the light. Raise your vibration. See it from a different perspective. They just said to me, look higher. See it from a much higher perspective. They just said to me, we're getting too grounded in this lower vibrational frequency of this third dimensional perspective of right and wrong, good and bad. How do we elevate beyond it? We must look higher for the higher purpose in everything. Even those that have come to show us the dark have a higher purpose. What's the higher purpose? We must look up into the higher dimensions from a higher perspective. They just said to me, if you were God, how would you see it? How would you see what's going on right now? Can you see through God's eyes? Can you see through the eyes of compassion? Can you see through the eyes and the heart of Christ? Can you see through the eyes of God that everything is unfolding for a reason? That every expression, truly at the core of what it is an expression of light and love. At its highest level, everything, even its reflection of the darkness, is the highest purpose of it. The highest purpose of it is to be an expression of light and love, to bring us closer to light and love, to bring us closer to our own divinity, to raise the vibration of not only yourselves, but humanity. I'm going to ask for some divine feminine guidance here. This is Colette Baron's Reed, Goddess Power Oracle card deck. And I have not used this yet, so I've just shuffled it here and put it on my grid, but let's just ask for guidance from the divine feminine. And I just heard the word again, compassion. The divine feminine has come in with the expression of compassion and love. And they just said to me, think about in your own families, you know, the compassion of a mother, the mother sometimes helping everyone in the family to see the beauty in each other, you know. And they said, we know not every mother, you know, there's mothers that come in with an expression of darkness, again, for everyone's learning. But the divine feminine energy is one of compassion, I'm just looking at my Kuan Yin statue here. And she is encompasses the energy of love and compassion, of that divine feminine energy. So just asking for guidance for the divine feminine over the next few weeks for everyone watching. What is it we most need to know? No. Interesting. I was going to pull the card and it was like, nope. Shuffle some more. There we go. Green Tara, salvation. Yeah, you know, salvation. I'm really picking up on the yellow energy here. And to me, yellow's always been a representation for, I know it says green Tara, but when I see this, I see a lot of yellow mixed with green. Of course, green always represents healing for me. But the yellow, the abundance of yellow in this card, it also represents hope for me. Because I just heard that the salvation of humanity, the hope of humanity, lies in the energy of compassion and joy. I just heard we need more joy. Many of us need more joy in our lives. Again, brings us back to this puppy that we got, which we don't really have time for right now with everything going on. But the one message I got when I meditated on it was the family needs joy. And that's exactly what babies, and even though it's lots of work, they do bring the energy of innocence and joy, don't they? There's something in the number of 18 for some reason. Why are you pointing 18 out for me? I'm not getting any more than the number 18 is important. So for those of you that might know numerology and the meaning of it, that might be more meaningful for you. I just feel a sassiness with this card, a knowingness and a wisdom. And I just heard salvation is coming. And I just heard again, hold hope in your heart. The other thing that is this, for some reason, this activation of the third eye energy is really important in opening up the lotus within ourselves, the lotus energy, which is, blooming out of the darkness, the beauty from the dark, the muddy waters. Those two things are connected. It's going to be able to, it's the salvation of humanity is our ability to see that the beauty of life sometimes comes up through the muddiest of waters. And we're starting to get clarity around that. There's a fog that we've had, specifically over the last 2 years, but we're starting to get more and more and more clarity as a human race around the complexity of this experience in life, and about the divinity that lies within all of us that are experiencing it together. And they just said to me that hope is the foundation for a new day. And they just asked a question of you. They said, do you have hope in your heart? Has it been lost? They hope that it hasn't been, is what they just said to me. They just said to me, keep hope in your heart. Believe in the power of humanity. Believe in the power of the light and divinity that runs through all people. They just underscored all people. Can you believe in that? Let that be your guiding light. Because they just said to me that will be the salvation for all. And it's interesting because this artwork piece that a beautiful friend of mine did, this is actually called Hope. It's got Archangel Gabriel's energy in there. So hope is definitely a profound energy right now. And they just said, we hope you feel it. We hope you feel hope. Because they just said to me, there is hope to be had. There is hope to be had. Okay, I'm going to wrap up. They just said one more card. And it's just for this week coming up is what they just said to me. So this is for the next 5 to 7 days coming up. There's just some extra guidance for you to ponder, they said. For you to, that's an interesting word, ponder. I asked them why they're using that word, and they just said, wouldn't it be nice if we could pull ourselves back and just ponder the why? Why does someone believe that? Why are they thinking that way? Why are they afraid? Why are you afraid? Can we go back to a state of pondering, reflection, rather than reaction, reflection, they just said. Rather than reaction, can we move to a place of reflection? I'm just asking for one card, please, for the next few days for everyone watching. And it's whether you're watching now, today, I think it's November 15th, or you could be watching 2 years from now, because that's the multi-dimensionality of how this all works. You'll be guided to this exactly when you're meant to be guided to the words. Just one card, please. There it is. Oh my goodness, diving for light. Is that not beautiful? They just said, let the light lead you. Let the light lead you. That the light is in all things, even in the darkness. Again, I'm focused here on this third eye energy. Again, there's a lot of focus on this. That this is developing more in humanity for clarity. We need to be able to see through the veil, through the stories that you're seeing, through the news that you're seeing. There needs to be a clarity that comes from within. They said, dive into the light within yourself that's going to be able to let you see through the eyes of God. They said again, it's seeing through the eyes of God, through the eyes of God's perspective, through the bigger I am. Dive deep into your own light, your own divinity, and see through that place, through that heart-centered place. Not through the egoic fear, not through the lack mentality, not through the old programming that there's not enough, not through the old programming of good or bad. Can we dive deeper? That's the 11 energy, by the way, in the 11th month. This is a month of deep diving. They're asking us to dive deeper, to look deeper into the light and the truth of what's happening, into the light and truth of every experience, because there is light and divinity running through all of it. Even through the most traumatic of times, there is a purpose, there is a light, and it's very difficult to see when we're in the middle of it. But they said that is the truth, and the truest thing we can tell you today. When you're seeing through the eyes of God, you'll be able to see that there is light in everyone and everything, and the potential for the expansion of light and the unification of light through every experience. And they just said to me, the light lies with you. The potential lies with you. The light lies with you. They said, with all of you. With all of you. Anything else they want to say? They just said, thank you for the platform. Thank you for allowing us to speak. And they just said, thank you for Corinna for having the courage to speak it. Anyways, much love to you all. I know that it's been an interesting year. I'm just going to say, I'm really tired of saying the word challenging. I know it sums it up so quickly, but I'm more in the energy of wanting to be curious about it, more in that energy of wanting to ponder, more of the energy of looking for the depths. I want to deep dive into it. I hope you do too. I'm tired of saying challenging. Let's move towards. They just said to me, this might be a stretch. Could we use the word exciting? Could we see through the eyes of God to see that all of this that's unfolding is actually exciting because of the potentiality for change, because of the potentiality for it to further humanity. I'm going to keep that one. Every time I use the word challenging, I'm going to switch it to exciting. Anyways, I thank them for that. All right, beloveds, I'm off. I've got clients I've got to get ready for. I probably won't get this posted till later tonight when it's all said and done. You know, I don't know. I hope I post it. If you're seeing it, it's here. And know that you're loved, deeply loved. And I feel the energy that's here for you and attempting to support you through the messages that are coming through. And they really hope that for some reason they're just said that you have the ears to hear it. And they want to thank you for this time. Anyways, much love to you, much love to you, and much love to all of those that are holding the light, holding the line. Even beautiful Tyler, who went online this week and did a video about holding the light. And especially when you don't feel like doing it. And goodness knows I have those days, but you got the courage to do it anyways. Bless you, beloved. If you haven't followed Tyler too, it's Divine Connections. Him and I started that channel, and we have obviously been pulled in other directions this year, but he's getting on there and doing videos when he has time. So go and listen to some of the things that he's got coming through him as well. All right, everyone, I'm off. I hope you found this helpful. And know that you're very loved. I just hold you deep in my heart, as I know many of you do for me. And I thank you for that. And thank you for all the love that you've sent to my family through what has been, I was going to say challenging, I'm going to say an exciting opportunity for enlightenment and healing and growth. And for that, I'm grateful. Much love to you, beloveds. I hope to see you again soon. Take good care of you. Bye-bye.